This week on Supercars Talk, there's another baby announcement while Will Brown wants Cam Hill banned. The big news this week is how they say Bathurst on the current ad that seems to be streamed on about every YouTube video I watch just to inflame me more. Yeah, okay, it's Bathurst. They seem to get it right a few times during the video, but the initial word is Bathurst, and he seems to say something like Bathurst. Yeah, I'm not sure. It just grates with me every time. And I seem to be getting fed it every YouTube video I watch. Bathurst, not Bathurst. Yeah, if that's my biggest complaint of the week, well, things aren't going too bad. Anyway, the actual big news this week is that Will Brown has a podcast and we have news stories off it. If you haven't checked it out, I think it's called Lucky Dogs. Will Brown and Brody Kosticki doing their own podcast. Really good. Yeah, probably shouldn't be advertising the fact, but yeah, unlike some other people around here, I'm not getting into a feud about, podcasts and things like that. Yeah, because people are much more important. But yeah, if you listen to another podcast this week, they're having a crack at someone else because of them having a crack at them. And anyway, Will Brown has said that Cam Hill should be banned from, well, at least first practice at the Bend because of what he did to his current teammate Zach Bates at Queensland Raceway. I do have to wonder if Zach Bates was a guest on the podcast and he is a teammate. I do have to wonder if it was, Cam Hill versus Jimmy Golding. Would he have even cared? But because it is a teammate and he was sat there all of a sudden like, oh, well, he should get banned from the session for that. Yeah, I've watched the incident a few more times now. It's not good, but what has been happening in the racing a lot is this, I'm going to say this is Lewis Hamilton started this. Now people are, oh, Lewis is so clean. He's the best driver ever. It really started in Lewis's battles with Nico Rosberg. It seemed like when they were overtaking, if Rosberg was on the outside of the corner, he just ran him out of room on the outside of the corner in any passing maneuver, like just dive bomb and then run him out. So, Nico basically had to make a decision. If he stayed on, they clash, or he runs off the track, or he gets out of it. And this really started then, and now it's crept into basically all series now, where if you're on the, the inside running to the outside of the track, when you're overtaking or being overtaken, and you can just, flat out run the guy off the road, and that's all tickety-boo right now. So to me, what's the difference then if you're just running someone off the track down the middle of a straight? People go, oh, well, it's in a corner, blah, 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 and whatever. Well, no, it's the same thing. You're just running someone off the track, which I'm sure Will Brown has done many a time to competitors where he just, because that's all fine in the rules, so why can't Cam Hill do it down the straight? I think what we should be looking at is really where you're giving the person racing room to stop this kind of dive bomb pass and they're just running someone off the track in the middle of the straight, and as they're coming out of the corner. And then no argument if someone runs someone off the road in the middle of the straight. Well, yeah, you're not allowed to run. You have to give them a car's width. So that's my thing. I think we need to fix up this in the rules before we start banning people. Cam Waters is the latest driver to get their partners pregnant this year. We got Cam Hill. Apparently Macaulay Jones is having a baby, and now Cam Waters as well. And that's the ones we know about. Is there any secret ones going on in the background? But the bigger talking point this week, we're still talking about safety car procedures. And it probably came from a podcast somewhere, basically saying Dutton now wants slow zones around the track. Mark Dutton, the whatever his role is at Triple Eight. Jamie's the boss, and then Dutto's, the one that tells them what to do on a weekend. I keep saying, it's very, very simple. This is a safety thing. Shut the pits. If there is an incident, that is deemed where we need safety crew out there to get to the shut the pits so no one has any reason to be speeding around or doing anything. Even if we have a slow zone where you slow to 80 Ks for that little period, yeah, okay, it's probably the best way of doing it, but people will still be trying to maximize their time under that slow zone. And then you've also, if you need to get a medical car out to that point of the track, you're still then putting the medical car out with people blazing at full speed. The thing is, if you shut the pits, there is no reason for anyone to speed. So as soon as that safety car is called, everyone can back right down. Medical cars and stuff can get straight out there without the fear of being hit by anyone that is racing. And no matter what, even if you have a slow zone, people are still racing to that point. I'll harp on once again. We see it in IndyCar where they get out to incidents. The AMR safety crew gets out to incidents. Like sometimes it's within seconds of the incident happening. They're there. And granted, the safety on an oval is a lot bigger thing than around the tracks. But yeah, they can, get out to incidents straight away without having to go through and wait for 17 laps while everyone gets to go through their, 5 compulsory pit stops and things like that, because we want it all to be fair. There will be a time when someone is hurt, like say, the Super 2 race on the weekend, that could have gone a lot worse with Jared Hughes, Mason Kelly. Someone could have actually been hurt, and you can't get out to them while everyone's trundling around again and again, lap after lap. Yeah, it works in IndyCar. And the whole, it's not fair, someone might have pitted and things like that. Well, once the field's under control, you still pit, you just end up a bit further down in the chain, and obviously then we have problems with double stacking and things like that. But maybe you have, where you can pit one car one lap and one car the second lap. Yes, okay, people will end up, kind of some people will have a loss in one round and they might have a win in another round with it, but we are trying to fix safety here, not trying to, make it fair. And then we look at an incident like the Cam Crick burying himself in the sand trap the other weekend. What you can do basically then, okay, some people haven't pitted and some people have. You essentially, you let everyone know, hey, there will be a safety car for this, but we're going to because they're deemed in a, relatively safe position, we'll just have yellow flag in that area. You can't do passing in that, but everyone can, trundle through the pits one time. And then we bring the safety car out and bring everyone together so we can get out there and save them. But my thoughts on this is, if I keep saying this enough, maybe someone will listen and go, hey, that's a bloody good idea. That's what we should do. And I'm sick of why we're asking the teams who have a vested interest. Of course, Triple Eight are going to, basically make it so that it is best for their strategies, and all the teams will do the same thing. We need, maybe this with Warbo coming in, we need a leader to go, no, this is a safety thing, this is how we're doing it. Who cares if someone is, unfairly affected in one race by this happening, because at some point you'll get a kick, along the way. And yes, we had situations in the past where we did this, and you'd have everyone, the pit window opens on lap 3 or whatever, everyone pits on lap 3 because they don't want to get hung out. That might be the case in some of these sprint races where the tyres might go the whole way. But say on the Sunday races, especially if the tyres do not last the whole distance, you can't pit straight away, because that will affect the rest of you'll be trundling around on knackered tyres at the end of the day. You can't do that. And you make it so with the fuel as well. We've seen how they're reducing the fuel capacity for the endurance race, or at least at Bathurst. We can do that with the races as well, so that you don't get this locked in where, people will pit at the, first opportunity, where you do have to space them out a bit. So, yeah, and we've got pretty professional drivers these days, so we don't have a hell of a lot of safety cars, really. But anyway, I just figure if I keep repeating it again and again and again and again, somebody might listen and go, hey, let's do it this, let's go for the more sensible way. And that could actually spice up the racing a bit more as well, because you do get people on these odd strategies. Anyway, that's mine. Down in the comments to let me know what you think about that. Now, it has been a couple of weeks since Queensland, but with all of our busy schedules, it's been hard to catch up with the Super 2 boys. Luckily for you and me, I got to catch up with Campbell, Logan and Cody Burcher during the week. So here's their thoughts on Queensland. And back on the show, we've got Campbell, Logan. Welcome back. How was your weekend in Queensland?
Not very good, Dave. Not very good at all. Thanks for having me back. It's nice to be back again. But yeah, wasn't a fantastic weekend by any means.
Well, first things first, I suppose the question on everyone's lips: how was the hot lap with Chaz Mostert?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It just came about because on the ride day, the team were using our Super 2 cars as precaution with the main game cars for the upcoming Enduros. And I was just talking to Chaz about a few things, and because we obviously struggled a little bit on the weekend, and just trying to understand more. Obviously, he did really well in them, and he's a fantastic driver. So just trying to understand more about the strengths of our Walkinshaw and Gritty United cars and how to best extract that around this track. And then I started showing him some onboard, and he just said, "Why don't you come for a ride with me? I'll show you a few things." So no, that was pretty cool, to be honest. Like, it's my second time doing a ride with him now, which is cool. But yeah, learnt plenty, which is really cool.
That's good. That saves me asking if you learnt anything from it. I suppose a bit of a silver lining on what was a tough weekend again.
Yeah, I mean, it's no other way to put it than it was a subpar weekend on every front, which is shit to say, if I can say that.
Yeah. That's fine around here. In race one, you dropped back, but I think the TV didn't cover why you kind of dropped back. What was wrong?
Yeah, I mean, race one kind of sucked. Like, obviously, there was that big incident with Hughesy and Mason, which was good to see Hughesy walk away from that all good. And we just sat under safety car for what felt like the entire race. So we got some green running at the end, but I got drilled at the last corner. So
wow.
That was spectacular.
Who's off the Christmas card list?
Cammy McLeod, and he already knows.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he there was a bunch of oil down at the last corner, and they'd patched it up, but it was still on the apex, and most certainly, well, it was still a little bit on the racing line, and definitely on the inside line for there. And yeah, he went for a move and just locked up, and I gave him as much room as I could, but yeah, I got drilled pretty hard and ended up even going in the gravel there, which was pretty crazy, but yeah, is what it is.
At least you didn't get drilled as hard as Jared Hughes.
Yeah, well, I wasn't far off. I mean, I was the car in front of Jared, so it wasn't too far off, actually.
And you had your own braking drama in race 2 where you forgot a braking marker and ran off.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Before that moment, the race was completely done already. Like, I didn't have a terrible start, but then just copped a bit of damage on the first lap, which kept getting worse. And then, copped a bit more damage after that. And then, it was just kind of wobbling around, basically just cruising, trying to get to the home and score some points rather than a DNF, because it felt safe to drive. But then, going into turn 3 under brakes, it was actually all good, and then all of a sudden it just went bang, and there was a steering failure on the front left as a result of the contact, and then that shot up and split the brake line. So it was if it was going to happen anyway, it happened in the right spot, and honestly at the right time, because I'd wiped most of the speed off it, so it wasn't too scary to have a brake failure. But it's my first time ever having the pedal go to the floor, so that wasn't a great feeling.
No, but well, for something like that, at least you semi got away with it, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
So the big question, no WAU in Super 2 next year with the Super program coming on. Did you have prior knowledge of that, or did it come as a shock to you as well?
No, I did have prior knowledge. As you would expect, I've had the knowledge for a little bit now, which is nice because it gives me the opportunity to work to putting next year's program together. But even still, when I got told, it was a bit of a shock. So it's sad to see they're not going again. It was obviously their return to Super 2 has been a pretty successful campaign for them. But it makes sense, the Toyota project is where their future lies, and it's a pretty big project to take on nonetheless.
How many times have you rung Simon Brookhouse in the last couple of weeks?
Simon who?
Brookhouse.
No, no, none really. Just trying to talk to everyone, and just get an idea of what the landscape is, and understand where everyone sits for next year, because there's a lot of guys who there's a lot of rookies this year, so there'll be a lot of guys who are going again, who would already have contracts for that. So just trying to understand where everyone's at and what opportunities are around, because it's a pretty important year for me next year. Third year, it's all got to start really coming together in a pretty successful way. So I just got to make sure that wherever I go, I get all the tools I need that I think I need to succeed, and hopefully a fast car along with it.
So you confident that you will be on the grid again next year?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. It's all like I said, there's lots of discussions happening at the moment, but pretty confident I'll be on the grid in some capacity next year, which will be really cool.
And what happens to the brand new Commodore that you started the year with?
Good question. I can talk about it, which is actually nice, because there was an article that came out about it on V8 Sleuth yesterday. Both cars are going to be sold, so I don't know who to or anything like that, but yeah, I do know they'll be sold. So hopefully you'll see it racing in Super 2 next year.
All right. Thanks very much, and hopefully we have a better run in the next round at Bathurst.
Yeah, so do I. Cool track, Bathurst. I've had some good runs there across the years, and the cars are strong there. So let's see what we can do. Thanks for having me on again, Dave. And
back once again, we've got the Orange Sportsperson of the Year, Cody Burcher. Welcome again.
Thanks for having me back, Dave.
What entails the Sportsperson of the Year?
It's kind of, I guess, what the name entails, but it's a lot of, it's pretty well just to recognise the talent that's coming out of Orange, and whilst it, being a relatively small country town, it actually has developed quite a lot of talented players, sports people in general. Probably the most well-known one worldwide is Jason Belmonte, who's a bowler, like a 10-pin bowler. You've got even Phoebe Litchfield, who plays for the Australian women's cricket team, and there's actually quite a few Olympians and that sort of thing that have come from Orange. So it was quite cool. There's been very limited people on that. Actually, Max Stewart was on there from quite a few years ago now, back from his car racing heroics. So it's quite cool. But not only, for me, it's recognizing the local community a little bit too. It's to be doing what we're doing is such a big effort from obviously as a driver, but the local community have gotten right behind me as well and are there every step of the way. So I definitely wouldn't be here without their support either.
It's congratulations. But we're here more to talk about the motorsport. So you're probably getting a bit of reputation for finishing sixth around the place. There seem to be a lot of sixes there at Queensland.
To be honest, I'm quite over it. It's so close, to be quite honest. Like Saturday, notably, obviously, we had a tough weekend at Townsville and we needed to turn things around, which we did. We, as a team, were a lot better over the whole weekend at QR. And, on Saturday, we were only half a tenth off pole, which you can't even blink in that sort of time. So it's, it's within touching distance. That's probably the thing. Like, we're a lot happier, but at the end of the day, sixth place is not where, it's definitely not where we want to finish. So we want to, as everyone, be chasing podiums, race wins, all that stuff. So, we're definitely heading in the right direction and sort of building and learning from a lot of the things that we probably haven't done right. Obviously, most notably, as we said last time I spoke, I needed to learn from everything that we probably didn't quite make the most of at Townsville, and turn that into a positive at QR. And I think I've always been a believer that you learn from a lot more from your mistakes Not always, but sometimes, and I definitely felt we did that. And yeah, we're a lot closer to where we want to be, but not definitely as a team we're still striving for a bit more.
I suppose as long as you're learning from those mistakes and not just repeating them again and again. Does over the weekend, seeing what Zach Bates do in the main game, does that give you confidence or add to frustration?
No, it's Zach's a good steerer, and it definitely it gives you confidence in what everyone in Super 2 is doing, to be honest. Not just fortunately I get to see a lot of that firsthand, him being my teammate. So it was super cool to see what he went out and did on the weekend. He had some good results, some good speed. So obviously, hopefully I get my shot to do the same thing, and you always want to do the same, if not better. So it's I think it's cool. There's a lot of good people coming through Super 2 at the moment, and it's proving in the main game by trusting that young talent, which is super exciting.
Have you been on the phone to Charlie yet?
No, I haven't. We'll have to. There's a lot of things that I've got to play out, but my main focus is still Super 2. It's I think if we get the right results and learn the right things in Super 2, the rest will take care of itself. So that's definitely my priority at the moment. And as I've said multiple times, we've got the best team, in my opinion, in the category, and they all know exactly what success looks like, and we're chipping away at it. But in a field that's so close, you can't make last year and the year before, half a second covered the top 5, and now half a second covers the top 15, if not more. So it's ridiculously competitive, and that's exactly how it should be. The cream rises to the top, and we've got to learn from those little things we might not have done right, stack them up, and then make them into a big positive. So I'm definitely super excited coming into the final 2 rounds of the year. It's come up pretty bloody quick.
Yeah. What are the plans between now and Bathurst?
I've got a little bit of GT4 racing coming up at the Bend, which will be definitely exciting. So I get to jump back in the car with Timmy. He's been doing a great job for an old bloke. So looking forward to doing a bit of that racing, and then getting back into the Super 2 car for what's my home round, which is I'm super excited for.
And finally, do you have a tip for the first of the endurance races at the Bend?
I don't know. It's hard to look past Brock at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job. I was fortunate enough to, sort of race with Brock all up through the junior ranks in go-karts and sort of into cars. So he's doing a really good job at the moment. It's awesome to see, and it's I think it's going to be hard to, with the role he's on at the moment. I think it'll be difficult to outdo him.
I agree at the moment. Anyway, thanks so much for your time again, and we'll catch up soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dave.
Once again, a massive shout out to Cody, Burcher and Campbell Logan for their time. I really, really appreciate it, guys. Now, next week, I am pre-recording today a video with the season rankings so far. I will not have any news stuff in next week's video because I am going to Queensland for my full-time job for the week. I'm hoping to do some Supercars Talk filming while I am up there. Don't want to say too much in case some of it doesn't happen, but yeah, that's the plan. Full-time job and trying to do some filming for that. But that means I am going to pre-record a video that is pure season rankings and no news. Anyway, keep an eye out for that. Also, I'm getting tantalizingly close to 4,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed, click that button down there, please. And I'd love to at least get to 4,000 before the end of the year. We'll might do a little bit of a celebration if I make it. Anyway, until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.